Good morning, Spiritual Life Center. How are you guys doing today? It's a beautiful morning. So happy to see you guys. We have William Minningfield here today. Let's give him a hand. He's going to sing some wonderful stuff. And we're just so happy you're here. We're going to start the day with our morning song, My Soul is Welcome Here. You guys ready? I'm in the right place at the right time. I'm just where I am meant to be. I'm in the right place at the right time. I'm just where I am meant to be. In the right place, I'm in the right place at the right time. I'm just where I am meant to be. I'm in the right place at the right time. I'm just where I am meant to be. In my soul, oh my soul is welcome here. Oh my soul is welcome here. And I am getting the message loud and clear. My soul is welcome here. Your soul is welcome. Ooh, yeah. I'm in the right place at the right time. I'm just where I am meant to be. I'm in the right place at the right time. I am just where I am meant to be. In my soul, oh my soul is welcome here. Oh my soul is welcome here. And I am getting the message loud and clear. My soul is welcome here. Oh my soul is welcome here. Oh my soul is welcome here. And I am getting the message loud and clear. My soul is welcome. I'm getting the message. I am getting the message loud and clear. My soul is welcome. My soul is welcome here. My soul is welcome here. Yeah. My soul is welcome here. My soul is welcome here. Yeah. My soul is welcome here. My soul is welcome here. My soul is welcome here. My soul is welcome. And I am getting the message loud and clear. My soul is welcome here.
Reverend Deborah and everyone here, because our souls indeed are welcome here.
They are, and good morning, Reverend James. It's great to be here with you today, and we greet you in the name of all that is good, all that is holy, and all that is sacred, and in the warm and loving energy of this community, Spiritual Life Center. Spiritual Life Center honors all people worshiping in temples, mosques, churches, stone circles, and of course, the beautiful temples of nature, because we know there is no space that God does not grace. And if you're with us for the very first time today, either watching us online or here in person, we especially want to welcome you because we know that you are not here by accident. We know that every one of us is here by
Divine appointment.
And we're always so excited to get together, and that excitement extends to silencing your electronic devices, and please refrain from flash photography during the service.
Well, I know that Veterans Day was formally yesterday, but I want to acknowledge anyone that's here as a veteran. If you would stand, we can just acknowledge you, appreciate you for, I know, yes, we got quite a few vets here today. Appreciate your presence, and all those have come before us to serve. And sisters? Oh, that's right. And Josie. Josie's a veteran. Yes, she's back in the back. Yes. Well, let's take a moment to acknowledge and appreciate not only the veterans, but all of us. All of us are here to express and manifest the ideas of the Spirit of the living God, to support all those around us to live to the highest and best that we can. Right at this moment, we recognize all the qualities of this presence, qualities of love first and foremost, a peace that passes all understanding, and all of its children, all of its offspring of joy and wisdom and vitality and vigor, imagination. We embody each and every one of those here and now. And as we make these qualities the activity of our awareness, we come fully alive in the presence and the power of the love of God. And we know that whenever any of us is lifted up, then we begin to radiate that same quality to all those who are around us and even the entire planet, because we are one in the Spirit. So we do our part, let God be God in us. And we begin to the end, release and let go and let the Spirit provide the increase along the way. It is already done in the mind and heart of God, and we simply raise ourselves to be one with what is already complete. And we anchor more and more of heaven in our life and in our world. It is done. Amen. Well, we have a very important purpose here at Spiritual Life Center as reflected in our mission statement. And I invite us to join in together as we affirm it together. To transform lives, to make a positive difference in the world, as we love, serve, and remember. And we carry out that mission as we embody and make these principles the activity of our awareness to the very best of our ability to live them out. Again, let's say them together. God is absolute good and everywhere present. People are inherently good. Thoughts create our experiences. Prayer and meditation are how we connect with God, and we must take action.
And we have some very special action for what we usually call Well Wednesday this week. It is our Thanksgiving communion that we call Come to the Table. And we're doing it a week earlier this year, thinking that, everybody's preparing for Thanksgiving dinner the night before. So we thought we would try it a week early and see what happens. Reverend James I will be here with the chaplains, and Larry will be doing the music. And this is a time that we commune with each other with the divine in gratitude and love. And it is a metaphysical new thought experience of communion. It's a little bit different.
I see somebody waving their hand in the back.
And there will be soup and dessert.
Oh, soup and dessert.
There will be a community meal, yes.
Okay.
Yes.
That's very good to know. So we're grateful for that. And speaking of gratitude, next Sunday is Gratitude Sunday. And we know on Gratitude Sunday, you bring your favorite pie. You bring my favorite pie, whatever. I love apple, but I'll probably eat anything you bring. So it's going to be good. So next Sunday, bring your favorite pie, and we'll have our Gratitude Sunday take place.
And we are going to be having a food drive in December. It will start in November and December. It's going to start on November 26th. And the benefits of these foods will go to St. Mark's Methodist Church food closet. So the barrels will be out on the 26th. They'll start bringing the food for the food closet. And that's going to be our community contribution for December. So we're excited about that.
And speaking of contributions, and we're, as a community, been making a contribution for 25 years. And, we're continuing on with our 25th anniversary activities. And we're having our 25th anniversary silent auction that is ongoing right as we speak. So it is online. And you say in the chapel as well, we have activities going. We have auction items going on.
We have auction items there in the chapel. And somebody, me, didn't change the slide out. It goes until the 26th.
Okay,
There's an extra week, yes.
So, but you can always start early. There's
Yeah.
nothing wrong with that.
Right.
So, but we'll go to the 26th, and see, I'm sure we have a number of items that you definitely would want to have to use as Christmas gifts or gifts for friends or just for yourself. Heck, treat yourself if you want to do that. Okay, and speaking of treating ourselves for good stuff, we have our Board of Trustees update. As each month, we have someone from our Board of Trustees to give us an update of what's happening with the board and other good news, I assume. We have Donna Sterla.
Good morning. It's nice to see 9 o'clock faces because I don't see them very often. So this is a board update for November. So we've been having a trial period of having open board meetings, and we've had 2 of them. The last one was on October 26th, and we've had 3 people at each one of them. It's been going really well, in my opinion. And but I want to let you know that our board meetings are going to switch in November and December because choir practice is going to happen on Thursdays for the candlelighting service, and 3 of our board members are in the choir. So, so we're going to have our next board meeting Tuesday, November 21st at 5 p.m. And as usual, if you'd like to attend, please just let us know through the website that you would like to come. So the board has been receiving coaching from Gary Simmons for a long time, and we decided that we will end our contract with him in November. So we'll have one more coaching with him, and then we'll be done. And he's been very helpful. So, but we think we're ready to move on without him. And please remember that if you would like to get the board updates, the board minutes, and the financials emailed to you, you need to go into the website and click on opt-in and give us your email address, and you'll be getting that information sent to you. At this point, we're up to date with September and October, and by the end of this week, you'll be receiving the board update and board minutes for October. So we decided we're going to get them to you faster. We're not going to take so long to get them to you. And we're really excited about that. If anybody's having problems opting in to get that information, please contact me, talk to me after the service or any other board member, and we can help you with that. And we've talked to you previously about a program that Spiritual Life Center is really excited about called the Charitable Gifting of Real Estate. This is going to be a big deal for our church, and it's going to be an entire program with training materials, videos, tutorials, etc., and a big change to the website. And there's a cost to that. But 2 of our church members, Josie Johnson and Deborah Moskovitz, have offered to provide the funds for us to be able to get started in that program. It's going to be a big deal. So we're very excited about that, and we thank you, Josie, and we thank you, Deborah. So, thank you. And that program is going to be starting very soon, and we'll keep you updated as to the progress that we're making. Thank you. That's all.
Thank you, Donna. And speaking of folks, we want to acknowledge Carrie, who's been filling in for Paula for I don't know how many weeks, but I think this is the last Sunday, but we just want to acknowledge him for stepping up and just doing a wonderful job and bringing his energy, his skill set, and consciousness while Paula's on the mend. And we want to give him a blessing together. So why don't we go ahead and do that and say that together? If you want to stand and just send him that positive energy, let's go and say it together. Carrie, we love you. We bless you. We appreciate you. We behold God's love as you. Yay.
And we just want to remind you every week that there are many activities that foster transformation here at Spiritual Life Center. Check out our weekly small group and other offerings. Happenings are on our website. And of course, if you're here in person, you can go out and look at the bulletin board. And of course, always go chat with the lovely ladies at the hub because they know everything.
Yes, they do. When I don't know, they do. We know we come to Spiritual Life Center, among other things, to make connections with folks, and might be in our classes, our workshops, our activities that take place here. But we don't necessarily have to wait until we have something special to happen. We can connect with someone right here, right now. So I just invite you to turn to a friend or a neighbor, and in a manner that feels comfortable for you, just greet them and say, "You are marvelous and glad you are here."
please stay standing and singing our group song. This is our Faith in Action song by Paula Mandela, Faith is the Key. You guys know this by now. We've been singing it. Yeah. All right. Living my life from the inside out, moving toward my dreams, turning away all my fears and doubts. A world of lack is not what it seems. It's no secret, there's a universal truth. The life that we are living is the life that we choose. 'Cause faith is the key to the kingdom of power within me. I see it, believe it, and now I can achieve it. Love moves in me and transforms every fear into courage. I feel it, I know it, and every day I'll show it. Yes, I will. Yes, I will. I'm giving way to the divine flow, attracting all I need. With grateful heart now for this I know, it's there abundantly. It's no miracle, it's very clear to see. God can't do nothing for me that isn't done through me. And I know that faith is the key to the kingdom of power within me. I see it, believe it, and now I can achieve it. Love moves in me and transforms every fear into courage. I feel it, I know it, and every day I'll show it. Faith is the key to the kingdom of power within me. I see it, believe it, and now I can achieve it. Love moves in me and transforms every fear into courage. I feel it, I know it, and every day I'll show it. Yes, I will. Yes, I will. Oh, faith is the key. Faith. Oh, love moves in me. Love moves in me. Oh, faith is the key. Yes, love moves in me. Oh.
Faith is the key, indeed. Thank you so much, William and Laree. Well, you know, each year when we have our Faith in Action series, we have our artists who do a pictorial representation of the topic of each week of our series. And this is our last of our 7-part series of Faith in Action. And of course, we have 2 magnificent artists. We have, first of all, we have Carolyn Cochran. Many of you know she was a former board president, longtime member of Spiritual Life Center, and just kind of like, how should I say, multi-talented individual on many levels. But here is her artwork to describe the representation of this week's topic, and she entitles it The Acorn's Birthday. The Acorn's Birthday. All right. Here's what Carolyn writes. Eric Butterworth states that life is a flowing process, and every person is a specialized channel for that flow. I would add that every living thing is a specialized channel for that flow. He also states that life is a continuum, not a discrete series of breaks. The old age should be a summation of the whole, a flowering experience of fulfillment. On my morning walks, I've been noticing all the acorns dropping from the oak trees. I got to thinking about their process, and realized they beautifully illustrate being in the flow of life and living their purpose. The acorn gives birth to the oak tree, while the oak tree gives birth to the acorn. Each carries the blueprint for the other. Given the right conditions, the acorn gives birth to the divine idea of the oak tree. They are both in the flow of birth, growth, and rebirth. The cycle is ageless. But the acorn and the oak tree are alive as a dynamic channel for the flow of the divine creative process. The acorn lives life from the inside out. It has a goal greater than itself. The oak tree is the ageless outcropping of the life of the acorn. In this mixed media gourd sculpture, you can see the young acorn and its shared purpose with the mature oak tree. They are ageless and one in the flow. As Eric Butterworth says, life is a flow, not a dead-end street. The Acorn's Birthday by Carolyn Cochran. All righty. And our second artist is Ellen Springwind, and she's entitled, the artist name, On Life, Death, and Rebirth. She's talking about the second chapter of this week. There were 2 chapters this week, so I had to read a lot. But here's what she writes on this chapter. Over the flow of my life, I've experienced many cycles of death, rebirth, and reemergence as someone new. Eric Butterworth says, often the darkness is the prelude to a dawn of light, and tragic loss opens out into growth and gain as all things work together for good. I chose to illustrate this never-ending cycle with the mushrooms. Nature is our powerful teacher, showing us the many ways death leads to a new life. In the forest, mushrooms are the recyclers and help to maintain biodiversity. They provide needed nutrients to the old and young trees through an underground network of tiny roots called mycelium. The fungi also help break down and compost the stressed and dead trees. They are part of a complex nutrient cycle that is vital to regeneration and a healthy forest ecosystem. In these ways, they give their forces to life, death, and rebirth. In the flowing experience of life, change is a constant reality. In every change, we see evidence of the process of death and rebirth. Each night, the sun sets. We go to sleep and wake up to daylight and the hope and promise of the new day. And throughout our lives, there is a death of that which was and the birth of that which is now. Butterworth urges us to perceive life in a way that actually includes death, knowing that on the other side of birth is a flow of life that has come to pass, and the other side of death is a flow of life that leads to new birth. He invites us to get the sense of being radiantly alive in a continuing and eternal experience in the flow. Our works from Ellen Springwind.
And now, as we move into the contemplative part of our service, let us embody the words of our vision statement together. Spiritual Life Center is a loving, vibrant family that welcomes home all people and accepts everyone, no exceptions. Weaving ancient spiritual traditions with emerging wisdom, we cultivate a spiritual deepening with the divine, each other, and our planet. As we come into this time of quiet, just breathe naturally and simply be aware of how with each breath you relax just a little bit more. Breathe into the back of your heart, melt into your seat, close your eyes, relax your eyelids, and in another breath, allow yourself to drift up into a light daydreams. And bring your awareness to your feet and imagine that you are sending roots down into the soil. You feel the vibrant energies of the earth as she responds, sending life up through your roots into your trunk. And you stretch your arms high into the sky, reaching for the sun. You have many arms. Oh, you are a strong tree standing in a quiet forest. It is summer. The sun shines brightly, and your green leaves absorb the warm light, turning it into food and nourishment. Sap pulses through you. Birds perch and sing on your branches. A summer breeze dances through your leaves. And you grow and sprout new leaves. And you are strong and vibrant and celebrate being alive. Slowly, the quality of the light changes, becoming softer, the air cooling. And the activity in your trunk and branches begins to slow down. Your leaves begin to change color, turning red and orange, and you blaze in glory. As the light wanes, your leaves begin to shrink and detach from your branches. And as each leaf flutters to the ground, you release it with love and thanksgiving for helping to feed and nourish you. Your leaves settle around the base of your trunk and begin the process of returning to the soil, where they will again become a part of you. But a few leaves hang on, refusing to go. They hang there tired and straggly. And now the quality of light changes again. The sun is not as bright or direct, and the softness of autumn light settles into dusk and dark. The air is almost cold. Storm clouds loom. The storm arrives, rain drops, and they soak your trunk. Stormy winds whip through your branches, tearing at the last few dry brown leaves. But you are a tree, and you simply flex and bow with the wind, waving your branches in the sky, moving, allowing, releasing as those last leaves fly up and away. The storm passes. The air is clear and cold, and you are clear and free of old debris and patterns. And now you rest. In the stillness of winter, you give thanks for the vibrancy of your summer life, the release of old used energies, and the opportunity to simply rest in the quiet of a winter forest. In the silence. Very gradually, the air begins to warm, and you start to feel the sun on your trunk and branches. The sap within you quickens, and you begin to wake up, becoming aware of the energies pulsing through your being. Tender green leaves begin to sprout from every node on every branch, and you stretch toward the sun, welcoming the light, absorbing the love. You are very much alive and vibrant, and your leaves quiver with joy. And you give thanks for the cycle of life that brings you back to yourself. And as you take a breath to re-enter your human body, receive this blessing. Oh, my beloved, life is a cycle. Everything changes. Those changes are good, even the storms. They cleanse you, allow you to start over, to become who you really are, an expression of the Holy One God who never changes. Remember this, always.
Time, it changes me. It's hard to see who I am. Touched, I'm touched by many things, so many things I don't understand. But seasons pass and I discover above all this, there's another helping me to hold on to what is timeless. So the autumn come, colored me gold, and the winter can dress me in snow, but it's you I see, the timeless part of me. In the springtime, I'm young once again. In the summer, I dance on the wind, but it's you I see, the timeless part of me. Change, whether it's good or bad, I know I'm glad you're in control. Oh, if I don't understand, I know your hand will shield my soul. Seasons pass and I discover above all this, there's another helping me on to hold on to what is timeless. So the autumn can color me gold, and the winter can dress me in snow, but it's you I see, the timeless part of me. Yeah. It's the springtime, I'm young once again. In the summer, I dance on the wind, but it's you I see, the timeless part of me. So the autumn can color me gold, and the winter can dress me in snow, but it's you I see, the timeless part of me.
Oh, thank you, William, Lurie, Kerry, and the rest of the band. Oh, man, I don't know, for some reason, that just touched me very deeply. So thank you so much. Last weekend, I went to see my mother in Boston. And she never really tells anyone her age. She just says, I'm in my lower middle 90s. Her mind is sharp. You know, the body is a little challenged. But she stays so positive, despite the challenges that she faces. And she's always calling up people and, you know, telling them how to live their life and what they need to be doing. But she has a lot of vitality, a lot of vigor, and I think she lives by the rule that says that, you know, I'm not going to rust out. I'm going to wear out in this lifetime. I think she had the spirit of being forever young. You know, there was a research project that took place for people who had lived in their 80s and their 90s and passed from their 90s even to the 100s. And they were all living beautiful, vital, giving lives. And so in the study, they wanted to know this one thing: what was the common denominator of these people? What did they do? And Way had a number of questions that he asked them, and one of the questions they asked was, you know, did you have a happy childhood? And so there was one 98-year young individual, very spry, very vigorous, continued to travel around the world and did wonderful things with his life. And his answer to the question, did you have a happy childhood, was, so far, so good. So far, so good. Somewhere along the line, he had not given up that sense of that childlike nature of being in the present moment, having that vitality, going forward consciousness. So far, so good. Well, this is our last week of our Faith in Action series. Going with the flow is our theme. And the topic, of course, today is staying alive. And of course, you know, when we came up with that title, I started thinking about the Bee Gees and, what was it, Saturday Night Fever. You know, back in the day, I think those are the days of platform shoes and bell bottoms. I don't think I could wear mine today. Staying alive. And of course, we know that staying alive or living is not necessarily how long someone lives. You know, there's some scientists who say that, you know, we're trying to make this happen. Others say that's going to be impossible. And even if it were possible, would we want to live forever? Well, as the reading points out, it's not the length of years that's important. Rather, it's the quality of the life that matters. So while we're here, we want to grow. While we're here, we want to move onward. While we're here, we want to no longer stop growing or stop learning till we're old. I was thinking about the idea of keeping forever young. There's a jazz musician who passed away a while back. My dad was a very jazz aficionado, and he had a lot of jazz albums, and one of them, one of the musicians, of course, was Miles Davis, played the trumpet. And Miles Davis was always innovating, doing new and stuff all the time, trying new ideas. And one of the things that he would do, he said that he would just bring in some of the youngest, most progressive musicians and have around him so he can keep his ideas fresh. I think he kept exploring new ideas. And I think if we keep holding on to the old ideas in our life, then we're getting old. So we want to birth new ideas. And if we want to give meaning to the idea of a new meaning to an idea of a birthday, maybe that should mark the day that we birth a new idea. The day that we birth a new project. The day we begin to implement a whole new phase of life. And if we do that, we'll never grow old because there are always ideas. So as time passes, you know that we can become wiser. We can become cuter. We become funnier. Less fazed by stuff by other people. More beautiful in so many different ways. The fact, as time goes on, we'll be looking so good, we won't even recognize ourselves when we look in the mirror. Now, of course, for that to happen, we have to stay in the flow of life. And when we're in the flow of life, we experience what I call the good news, which is the kingdom of heaven, and heaven is expanding good. It's at hand now, as it says in the scripture. It's not a place, it's a state of our awareness, a state of consciousness, a state of mind that we live, as was pointed out earlier, from life is lived from within out. But sometimes we live from the outside in. And as the reading notes, sometimes when we do that, our goals tend to be acquisitional rather than personal, rather than being spiritual. And we end up trying to possess life rather than letting it live through and as us. And the more that we hold on, the more we block the flow. We block the flow of the good. So, we want to be aware of maybe some of the ways that we are blocking the flow. Blocking the flow in our life that stops us from expressing, from experiencing what we have come here to be. Which sometimes, in some way, shape, or form, is about expressing more of the qualities of the Spirit of God. Understand there have been planted in us. Before we made this incarnation, we'll be with it after we shuffle off the mortal coil. There's a divine and perfect image of infinity unfolding to reveal the glory and the power and the love of God. So today, I'm going to identify maybe some things that people do to block the flow of good, that blocks the flow of life, and blocks us from fully living life, being here alive. So listen up, or as Jesus say, yo. Or he said low, anyway. Listen up. For those who have ears to hear. So if you really want to block the flow and create discord in your consciousness and prevent yourself from hearing and recognizing and being in tune with the divine melodies of spirit, here's what you got to do. Understand there's no judgment here. It's just, I say, this is just a possible way for a human being to be. But you want to be able to do it consciously, not unconsciously. Some are blocking their flow only halfway. They block their full flow for a while, then they have a good day, and they have some accidental alignment with the flow of life. But we're here today to show you how to successfully block the flow of life, and not just wonder how to do it, but to be so good at it that it turns into an art and a science. First thing you got to do to successfully block the flow in life, you got to be a good complainer. You got to be a good complainer. You got to search every day for something to complain about. You have to find something in God's great universe to complain about till you find it. So you're just complaining until you become a complainer without ceasing. In the scripture, they say, pray without ceasing. These individuals, they complain without ceasing. And so as a whole being becomes one big complaint. Complaining just is the inability to see good in life. It's the inability to see God. It's a public declaration that says, oh, I can't see God. That's what complaining really is. I can't see God. Got to work on this till it blocks the vision. And all we see is negativity, missed opportunities, bad thoughts. Become such a magnificent complainer that we block so much of our good, it becomes part of our way of being in the world. And life gets worse and worse and worse and worse because there's no flow. There's just a cacophony of life. Then, the next thing you do, if you really want to become an expert at this, you got to learn to blame. Blame. Now, there's some experts who are just good at complaining, but they haven't combined blaming with complaining. They haven't done the same thing. They take no responsibility for their life, and as soon as anything goes wrong, they know exactly who to blame. It was their mother. She dressed me funny. It was my ex-wife. It was my ex-husband, my ex-boss, my present boss. Just know how to blame, and sometimes it's a hit and miss. And life looks good at times. It seems to be in the flow. But to successfully create discord in consciousness, to block the good, you have to really, really, really complain and blame till it gets into your cells, till it becomes something without ceasing in your consciousness. And then number 3, instead of using this creative time and energy to vision or create goals, just write down excuses as to why your life ain't working. Just keep coming up with all kinds of reasons your life is not working. Again, it could be the parents. I was born to the wrong parents. I was born under the wrong stars. My numerology number is not right. I was too tall, too short, too light, too dark, too fat, too skinny. Didn't have enough education, had too much education. Just write down all the things, the excuses that seem to serve you to have that kind of perspective on life. So when somebody comes up to you and say, hey, I see that things aren't going well for you right now. What is it? You just pull something out your back pocket and say, number 42. I was born under the wrong astrological sign. Oh, okay, I got another one, number 45. Oh, my eyebrows is too thin. Somebody doesn't like me anymore. Just create all the excuses, and then you'll feel confident that whenever things don't go right, you just have those excuses right there, and they become so fluent in excuse making, and then you realize you can explain why life isn't working. Just creating all kinds of discord in life, blocking the good, but you'll be successful at it, and you'll understand. Then you really nail this thing down. So, some don't know how to do this. You got to really hold a grudge. Hold a grudge. Now, there's some masters at this. Now, there's some novices too, just beginning, They're just learning. They're just taking some little baby steps. But we don't want to go halfway with anything. If we hold a grudge, you got to have some resentment. You got to know what that grudge does. It blocks the flow of creativity. It doesn't allow you to remember very well. It kind of dissipates the life energy. It doesn't allow you to vision the vision of God and doesn't allow it to come through you. But a grudge does more than that. A grudge is really just a coagulated thought and in our awareness. And sometimes it manifests in all kinds of different ways in life because we're not in alignment with the presence of God. So grudges are very helpful in blocking the flow. So if you really bring holding a grudge to an expert level, if you really want to block the flow of good, you have to add this to it. Whoever you're holding a grudge against, someone that you're not liking, whenever their name is mentioned, just suck your teeth and roll your eyes. Yeah. You know how it goes. Someone brings up a name in a conversation and says, oh yeah, I know her, I know him. And it'll sink into your subjective mind and you become a feeling tone. And every time you hear that person's name, say, oh my God. Then it turns into back pain and a crook in the neck and a pain in the foot. And you won't know why, but I'm telling you why. You're blocking the good. You got to block it consciously and hold on to a grudge to block the flow of God in that life. Now, of course, I decided today when I came to the service today, I said, what was my intention today? First of all, have some fun. So, I say this tongue in cheek so we can tease into consciousness some of the habits that we sometimes use to block our flow of the universe. This week, when the second chapter was the chapter on reincarnation. And when I was in ministerial school, one of the instructors was asked by the fellow students, what is his thoughts on reincarnation? And his response was, I didn't believe in reincarnation in my last lifetime, and I'm not going to believe in it in this lifetime. I got that, obviously the most important thing is what we do here and now. The hereafter will eventually take care of itself. But here's the thing, there are other dimensions. I had, read a story in the Gospel of John in which the man was born blind. And the people around Jesus was asking him, well, who sinned? In other words, who missed the mark? Sin is meaning missing the mark. Who messed up? Was it him or was his parents? Well, if it was him, Well, he was born blind. It could have had to be something he had to do in a previous life. So there's a suggestion they thought about reincarnation was real. You know, I had a friend years ago. This kind of changed my whole perspective on this. And they had come to me, and they said that there were some entities that came to her, and she would be in a certain state of mind, and she would be channeling these entities in her life. I can say this to y'all. I wouldn't say this to everybody I know. And what would happen, would she be in that certain state of mind, and she would be speaking a language that she never spoke before. I had never heard of it before. And she was disturbed by this. And around this time, we happened to bring in a speaker at the community I was at. His name was Brian Weiss. And he wrote a phenomenal book called Many Lives and Many Masters. And essentially what Brian Weiss does, he was a psychiatrist, he was trained at Yale, and he was doing regression therapy on some of his patients. And eventually he regressed somebody to their previous life because they were talking about things they had no idea about, had no knowledge about consciously. And so we went to him, and she said to him, my friend said to him, who was having these things come through her, you know, I don't want this to happen anymore. What can I do? And he said, just tell them to stop and don't come back anymore. That was it. Just tell them to stop and don't come back. And she did. And they haven't come back since. You know, I think we need to realize as we finish up this series that life is precious. And it goes on and on and on. There's death and rebirth, death and rebirth, death and rebirth. And the most important thing is what we do right here and now. But we want to really cherish this life. You know, there's a story from the ancients' teachings that says that if you imagine if you took all the waters of the world, all the waters of the planet, and put all that water together, and then you put an inner tube in the middle of the water, and a turtle's head would randomly turn up every 1,000 years. And that story says the odds of that turtle's head popping through that inner tube, the odds of that happening are better than you or I having a human incarnation. Because according to the ancients, there was an infinite supply of spiritual beings, but only a limited number of bodies. So our human incarnation is so precious, so rare, the odds of having one are maybe 1 in a trillion billion, I don't know. But all of those spirits, I think on some level, they're probably elbowing each other out the way to get into one of those bodies. They don't care what it is. It could be a big body, a small body. It could be in a family with a lot of dysfunctions. Said, I want that body to have this life. So the way to look at it is the Spirit of God loved us so much. It gathered all the greatest. It gathered all the most capable, the most fearless spirits, and said, I have a place for you to do amazing things. Life is alive. Live it. So all of us have been anointed for the work that's specifically chosen for you and me. As Butterworth points out, we are here to be in the express business. We're here to be a creative channel for the flow of life. And don't be fooled by anyone. We all have a purpose for being here on the planet. And when we remember we are here to express the timeless, eternal presence of the Spirit of the living God, a presence that has never been born and can never die, we won't have to worry about being sick or diseased or moving on because we will not leave a second until our purpose is fulfilled, until it's complete. We will know beyond a doubt we are here to be the expression and to represent and be the extension of the eternal presence, regardless of the challenges that we face individually or collectively on the planet. We will not leave the moment before our purpose is fulfilled. And when our purpose is fulfilled, we'll be more than happy to move over to any dimension we're called to go on to, because we will discover that there's only life, and more life in all of this magnificent universe. And we'll always be becoming more and never less than our true self. And we will live life fearlessly in the Spirit right here and now, because we are staying fully alive and in the flow of life. Peace and blessings to you. Well, each week we have an affirmation that we take throughout the week just to embody some of the things that we have been reading or involved in our small groups each week. Let's say our affirmation together right now. Life is eternal, divine, dynamic, flowing. Life does not deteriorate, grow old, or die. I am life. Let's keep that in mind. Well, next week in our Gratitude Sunday, I'll be back and we're going to just talk about blessing and multiplying. So we're going to talk about how when we bless, we multiply the good in our life. And the meditation will be by Reverend Janae, and music, Dahlia and Lurie and Soul Light Connection. And so we're looking forward to next week. It's going to be wonderful and magnificent. For those who would like to have prayer immediately after the service, if you're going through something or some challenge, or if you just want to celebrate something in your life and give it more energy, our prayer chaplains are available to pray with you. Just look for one that has the white stoles, and they'll be in the courtyard to be with you immediately after the service. So we thank any of our 8 chaplains that are on part of our program to be part of the prayer with you right after the service. For those who are online that would like to stay in contact with Spiritual Life Center, see what's going on from time to time, you can fill a welcome card online, and we'll stay in contact with you, put you on the mailing list. But most importantly, if anyone's here for the first time today, any first-timers here today, would you raise your hand? Any first-timers? Okay, the early service always has most folks that are here every week. So thank you for being here. Oh, we got a first-timer in the booth. Yes, yes. She is in training to help fill the void now that Ira's moved on to the greater things in life. And you got to remember, I keep asking her name. You got to tell me her name again. Kayla. So say hello to Kayla and welcome her to our community today. She's a bass player too. All right. She's multi-talented, does the controls back there and plays music. So Kayla, thank you for being here and showing up with us today. For those who are online who would like to support Spiritual Life Center with your gift or your offering, you can do so by simply texting SLC Love to 44321. Text SLC Love to 44321. Or go to our website, slcworld.org, click the Donate tab, and you can give in other ways, including by mail. For those who are here today who would like to make their gift or donation, or those who have already given automatically online or in the mail, know that you are in the flow of something magnificent. And the flow says that whatever you give out, it comes back. And that is the nature of God. That is the nature of the universe. And we can never outgive this presence. So with that awareness, let's affirm our offertory blessing this morning. Divine love, as me, blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, and all that I circulate. Thank you, God.
What kept me sad was a story in my head about what I never had and what I never said. But I can sing a song the flowers gave to me. It helps me to be strong. It helps me to be free. And when I'm walking with you, I'm walking with God. And I'm talking with you, I'm talking with God. When I'm praying with you, I'm praying with God. If God is all there is, then everything is God. When I'm laughing with you, I'm laughing with God. When I'm singing with you, I'm singing with God. In the arms then everything is God.
Oh, there's a road, journey we must take, starts from within, just a thought away. I have got a song that the flowers gave to me, and it helps me to be strong, it helps me to be free. And when I'm walking with you, I'm walking with God. And when I'm talking with you, I'm talking with God. And when I'm praying with you, I'm praying with God. If God is all there is, then everything is God. And when I'm laughing with you, yeah, I'm laughing with God. And when I'm singing with you, I'm singing with God. And in the arms of my friend, I'm in the arms of God. If God is all there is, then everything is God. God is all there is, then everything is God.
If God is all
Oh,
there is, then
everything is
I think that says it all. If I'm walking with you, I'm walking with God. If God is all there is, what does it say? There's nothing but everything is God. Thank God. Well, we take this moment to bless those who have blessed us with their gifts and their offerings, knowing to want to bless the givers as well as the receivers, and to provide a place for them to grow, develop, unfold, and really live life and be fully alive in this incarnation. But we're here to let God be God in us in every aspect of our life, no matter what it may be. Because we all have one job. That's to express more and more of the presence of God, regardless of what the form may be. The bottom line, that if everything is God, then God is all that there is, and we're here to express that presence. We also bless those who have left their prayers in the prayer box today or throughout the week. For we're reminded that we all have challenges in our life from time to time. We all have bumps in the road, unexpectancies. We have things that come up that we just can't humanly figure out how to do it. And it's in those moments that we lean on a presence that is with us always. A presence that can never leave us or forsake us, that can never change up on us, that is always for us and can never, ever be against us. And is known by many different names. We may call it the God presence. We may call it the divinity. We may call it the force, the universe, whatever we call it. We call it forth as the activity of our awareness. And know that we are okay when we realize this presence is with us, because it always has our back. So regardless of what's going on in our life or in our world, this presence has an answer. This presence knows the answer even before we know what the question is. As it says in that scriptural reference, before they call, I've already answered you. So no matter how challenging the challenges may be in our life or in our world, we realize that we have a big, huge, gigantic, all-knowing presence called God. It's omni-active every single moment of our day, working for us, seeking and imploring us to be the very best that we can be, and we anchor that energy right now. So we're grateful and thankful as we go forth, knowing that prayer has been answered. And our task is simply raise ourselves to be one with the answer and see how Spirit reveals itself in a myriad of ways. It is done, and we are grateful. Amen. So with that, let us affirm our prayer for protection together. The light of God surrounds us. I am the light of God. The love of God enfolds us. I am the love of God. The power of God protects us. I am the power of God. The presence of God watches over us. I am the presence of God. Wherever we are, God is, I am, and all is well. Let's sing our peace song.
Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, the peace that was meant to be. With God as creator, God as creator, family all are we, family all are we. Let us walk with each other in perfect harmony. Let peace begin with me. Let this be the moment now. Let this be the moment. With every step I take, let this be my joyous vow. To take each moment and live each moment in peace eternally. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Let it begin with me. Oh, yeah.
Stay on the floor, hang around for staying alive.
Yeah,
We got a
stick
special
around.
post-service music from our
That's right.
team.
Whether you're brother or whether you're mother, staying alive, staying alive. Breaking it up, everybody's shaking and we're staying alive, staying alive. Ha, 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 staying alive, staying alive. Ha, 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 staying Whether you're a brother or whether you're a mother, you're staying alive, staying alive. Feel the city breaking and everybody shaking and we're staying alive, staying alive. Ha, 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 staying alive, staying alive. Ha, 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 staying
Staying alive, staying alive. Feel the city breaking and everybody shaking. Staying alive, staying alive.